Hey everybody, it's John Hope Bryant. I'm founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Operation Hope, which is America's first nonprofit financial services network for the poor, the underserved, the working class, and the struggling middle class, those with too much month at the end of their money. We are one of the biggest networks in the world, but certainly the biggest network in the U.S. for a financial services network for the underserved. Just received a 4-star Charity Navigator rating. It's like the Dun & Bradstreet of philanthropic organizations. It's basically a good housekeeping seal of approval. So Charity Navigator, you can look it up on the internet, gave us a 4-star rating at Operation Hope, which says that we are in the top tier, top quartile of all nonprofits in the country. The top 25% of all nonprofit organizations, right up there with the best-in-class organizations that take 80 cents of every dollar and puts it back into the community, more than 80 cents of every dollar. So that means top financial practices, top fiscal practices, top analytical practices, top programmatic performance. So I love it when we're not in a bucket, right? We're not a good black organization or a good Latino organization or a good minority organization or a good inner city organization. No, we're just a good organization that happens to be run by people of color. And that's why I keep saying you can't be black for a living. You can't take shortcuts. You got to just deliver best in class. I'm giving you some best in class information today. Some of you are signing on. I often do this with little to no warning, so I do apologize for that. But I guess it's part of also the magic is I do it spontaneously when I have time between meetings. This is a real guy running real businesses, giving you real talk with no team, no editing, no processing, no script. I'm not reading anything. Just talking to you straight and talking to you straight because I love you enough to give you information directly from me in a way that I think empowers you. And this is not about black folks, brown folks, Latinos, Asians, Indians, and others. In fact, the color is not black, white, red, brown, or yellow these days. It's green. And that's what I'm here to talk about today. So a lot of folks are signing on. We have over 1,200,000 views so far in this series. Thank you very much. Okay, we have Morgan, good afternoon, from Philly, from Morgan, LaShawn, thank you very much, great job. I guess it was about Charity Navigator. Anthony from Orlando, Marjorie from Nigeria, Mark Love from Chicago, and we're growing. Okay, so I see somebody here signing in from the Middle East. All right, so this is a message that really is about the U.S. So if you're calling from other parts of the world, you can be inspired by this and tell your government to model what's done in the U.S. But if you're living in the U.S., I want you to, today's tax day in the U.S., April 15th, and I want you to spread this message to everybody you know. This has to go viral over the internet today. I'm going to try to get this video up to 25,000 views today. You've got to watch this and tell everybody you know, because this message is a check. That's my promise to you. This is a check. This is not playing games. You know what the power of civil rights? I'm about to give you the power of civil rights. If you're living in the U.S., this is a check for you. If you're a working family making $50,000 a year or less, this is a check for you, not a tax credit, not a coupon, no, cash within 30 days, and you're filing your tax return. And by the way, some people hate filing taxes. I think if you're paying taxes, that means you're making money, so that's a good thing. And you should file your taxes. You remember how they got Al Capone? They didn't get Al Capone for crime, mayhem, or murder. They got him for tax evasion, right? So I'd rather be my mother be upset with me and not file my taxes. So I'm gonna give you a reason and a season and a check if you make $50,000 a year or less. If you're in other parts of the world, be inspired by this. Write to your government and tell them to model what I am talking about here. It's direct from John Hope Bryant. Okay, here it is. Tell everybody you know. If you make $50,000 a year or less and you work a job, the federal government owes you a check. It's a bonus. It's called the Earned Income Tax Credit, EITC. The allocation for EITC is $50 billion a year. That was the allocation a couple of years ago. The number may have gone up, actually. But it's $50 billion a year. And 1 out of 10 people, no, 1 out of 5 people who qualify for EITC never ask for it. That means $10 billion a year. That's with a B. I'm going to repeat that. $10 billion a year goes back to the federal treasury every year because we did not ask for our money. I'm going to be very specific now. Now I want you to think about my friends in Detroit, where the average income level is $24,000, $25,000, $26,000 a year for the city residents. We've got to get that number up. And our work with Detroit Uplift 2020, we're about to announce soon at Operation Hope, will work to do that. But if you're living in Detroit, you're living in Atlanta, Georgia, you're living and make $30,000 a year, you're living in one of the small cities in America making $25,000 a year, you've got somebody in your family who makes $30,000 a year. I'm going to be very specific. You make $28,000 a year and you've got 2 children and you work. The federal government owes you just about $4,000. Now here's the magic, and please listen to this very carefully. If you never file for EITC, it's retroactive. 3 years. Hello. That means that $4,000 is actually $12,000. Now, a working family in America making $28,000 a year will never see, I don't think, you correct me if I'm wrong, $12,000 at any one time that doesn't have somebody's name on it or tied to a document said a loan ever, right? And $12,000 solves a lot of problems. Shoot, $4,000 solves a lot of problems. You making $36,000 a year and you get a check for $3,000, that's almost 10% of your annual income, which is well within the EITC range. But if you get $12,000, imagine that. You can pay off your car note, a lot of people. You can send your kid to a community or state college, pay their tuition with dignity. You can, bring that mortgage note current. What's the number one cause for divorce in America? Money. What's the number one cause for domestic abuse? Money. What's the number one reason why black kids and brown kids don't go to college? It's not academics. It's money. What's the number one cause for heart attacks? So says the American Heart Association. Stress. What's the number one cause for stress? Money. What's the number one reason? I'm going to do a whole series on empowering empowering women, right? But black women run 70% of American black households, is why I got them on my mind. But if you're a woman staying with an abusive man, the number one reason why you do that is money. Dependency. This is a way to set yourself free. And it just stuns me. Like, nothing that I just said to you is more complicated than what I just said. And by the way, let me cut to the chase. If you think you're EITC qualified, don't walk, run back to your tax preparer today and make sure they pull out that form called EITC, have them fill it out for you and get your check and get it wired into a bank account. Have them open a bank account and have them wire that money into that account. And then have a family conversation with your family before you spend that money on frivolous stuff, because it's the biggest check probably that your family will ever receive at one time. Don't waste it. Don't waste it on stupid stuff. Make this an investment for your family's future. And, while we got, pickets and protests around everything you can imagine, most of it legitimate, where's the protest for where's my EITC? Where are the civil rights organizations doing, press conferences around the hundreds of millions of dollars the average city is due in EITC and getting them filed? Anyway, back to the point. Prepare to file it. Come to Operation Hope. We'll help you file it. Go to one of my Hope Inside locations. We're opening Hope Inside locations across this country. Go to operationhope.org and find a location near you. Go to one of my Hope Financial coaches. They will help you file your EITC document. And don't get upset. You can amend your tax return. So even if you filed your return today, you can still amend your tax return. If anybody in your family makes $50,000 a year or less, anybody you know asking you for a loan, your cousin Boo Boo, we all have a cousin Boo Boo, all of them asking for a loan. This is not a loan. This is your money. See, this is what I mean by what Malcolm X said. We've been bamboozled. We've been tricked. We've been fooled, right? We arguing about all this stupid stuff over here, and here's real money, right? That is yours, and we just don't claim it. And here's the real rub. And I'm an advisor for our federal government, so I say this with great respect. The legislators pass this legislation every year, bipartisan, and they overfund. Well, they fund it at a level, knowing they're going to get, a fifth of it back, because we're not going to ask for it, because we don't have a financial planner, we don't have a private banker. So if you make over $50,000 a year, you don't qualify, but you do have a financial planner. You make less than $50,000 a year, you do qualify, you don't have a financial planner. So no one's telling you you're qualified. Well, I'm telling you. And I'm going to make sure this video is widely distributed today. You're going to help me get the word out, Get your friends to file for their earned income tax credit. This has become a household name in our community, right? This is your civil rights. Okay, we're at 10 minutes. I'm going to go to questions, and then I'm going to wrap this up. I have one more video I want to do for the day. Lakita in the Bay Area. Romeo, EIC, do you have an office in Atlanta? We have many offices in Atlanta. Go to Hope Inside at Ebenezer Church, Dr. King's Church here in Atlanta, where our headquarters is for our program offices. Reverend Warnock, my friend, who is the 5th pastor of Ebenezer Church. Go to my team there, Luis Negron. Luis, L-O-U-I-S dot Negron, N-E-G-R-O-N, at operationhope.org. Our email, Tara Dennis, Tara.Dennis at operationhope.org. Tell them I sent you. We're available, easily accessible on the internet. Malcolm, is this different from EIC? Yes, this is EITC, the Earned Income Tax Credit. I tell you one thing, my brother, to hear you speak makes me proud to be Black American, to be Black and African American. Keep it going, my friend. That's Taverse Little. Thank you very much. Victor Jones, I would love to talk to someone from your team because I'm 51 years old today and working 7 days a week. I have a bachelor's in criminal justice and would like to start my own security business. Bravo. Go to my team. Find a city near you. Go to my team. We're the private banker for the working class, the working poor, the struggling middle class. We are growing, opening an office a week, and we're coming to a neighborhood near you. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up in a minute. What if you get EEC on your tax return? I don't know, Robo Loveless, but I'm pretty sure EITC is completely separate. As long as you make $50,000 a year or less, literally you qualify. You could be a single man. By the way, you get the least money you make with the more dependents, and you work, the more money you get. So if you make $49,000 a year, you're a man with no kids, you're going to get a few $100. But the point is, it's your money. You want your money, don't you? It's your money. You earned it. It's not a handout. Let me make sure I underscore it. This is not a handout program. This is bipartisan, approved. Every president, going back to Henry Ford. In fact, President Bill Clinton is gave one of the largest boosts to EITC, and then President Obama did it as well, and Republican presidents. It is a dignity-rich campaign for working. Okay. Tin Huni, hi John, thanks so much from Tucson. Thank you. Nisha from South Africa, great. I need a check. Clarence Pointer, we all need a check, Clarence. Paying taxes is the cost we pay for doing business. Exactly. What does Africa need, by the way? It needs taxpayers. The whole continent just needs taxpayers, because that means you're making money. Then the taxes can go, you can enforce your government to do roads and gutters and all that kind of stuff. That's another video for another time. By the way, one of the videos they did on South Africa has almost 250,000 views on sort of what's the problem or what are defining South Africa. Go back and watch that. Enjoying an inspirational Vivian from South Africa. Thank you very much. It's April 18th today. Is this pre-recorded? It's April 18th today. Yeah, man. Wow, that's deep. Yeah. So you got me. It's April 18th today. Very good job, Robo. You can still amend your tax returns and still get your EITC. So it's not pre-recorded. I'm doing it live. Just somebody check my phone. So April 15th was the filing day, but you can still go back. And you see, I'm moving so fast. I'm going so fast. I'm passing myself in airports. Okay, a lot of comments. I'll do most of these offline. I got one more video I want to do on something really important. Good day from Saladin from San Diego. Lloyd Mitchell from congratulations. Thank you very much. Morgan Wilson from Philly. Okay, love you guys. Peace out. Civil rights is real. Tell a friend.